Okay, day 350, part 3, pay to play here. Trial, Benghazi trial. Tomorrow, 9:30, Imran and Juan will be right there. We'll be here to cover it. So in this trial, there's basically 4 agents now that have testified. 2 guys are in this B annex that kind of boil themselves into a B annex. 2 guys are way at the back at a technical operations center that's connected back to the operations headquarters here in Virginia, Roslyn, Virginia. They have cameras. There's 12 cameras located all around. And they've got pretty good coverage. It's an 11-acre compound, this special mission they call it. But it turns out they had cameras working all the way to the end of the attack. So you can see people coming and going and so forth. And there's obviously cameras like on the front gates where the explosion happened, where the 2 explosions happened and all the small arms fire and the infiltration occurred. So my key question to the prosecution is, this guy was pretty credible, this guy named Henderson. He was one of the 2 guys back in the TOC, this Technical Operations Center, or Tactical Operations Center. Why don't you just show the film? Just start the whole trial with, here's what happened, okay? Beginning to end. Boom, the wall blew up over there. Here they come, all right? They went and burned, they took the diesel fuel, they burned the QFs, the Quick Reaction Force over here in the corner. Then they took that over here to C. Can you see it? And then show the jurors all the different camera angles. You know, here it is. Here's building C, where Christopher Stevenson's burning up. Okay, now here they come over to building V, and now they're burning up that and looting building V. Now they're coming toward us at the Technical Operations Center, and just show the whole thing unfold like a movie. They have the equipment, they have the video. So my key question to the prosecution is, why are we looking at this case through a keyhole, through a screenshot here and a screenshot there and a screenshot over there? That's just not necessary. It's obviously that there is a narrative here that they're covering up, and it just shows because they're not being the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Just show the whole thing. There's where it blew up, okay? And the other thing is, you don't run and hide when somebody blows a hole in the wall. I know they had a thing called shelter in place. That was supposedly the operational plan. But they had an attack on the British embassy, an attack on the motorcade earlier. That day they had a guy taking pictures in a uniform that they had an emergency meeting about. It was September the 11th. Okay, this was the ambassador had come in. He hadn't been there in months. So there was, they didn't let him go running that day because they had concerns over the security. So all of a sudden, and then there's this visitor coming and going that's going out to the back gate at 8:30, and then the explosion happens at 9:42. All these things, it's like, well, why didn't you say who the visitor was? Why didn't you say what the topic of the conversation was? Why didn't you say who the visitor was that was talking, the Turkish ambassador or the Turkish guy who works for Turkish intelligence that was talking with Christopher Stevens? Why don't you go through the information that was sent and cabled back from Christopher Stevens, okay? There's an avoidance here of talking about the ambassador. These guys aren't there because it's a vacation club. They're there because it's the diplomatic security service. They're there to protect the ambassador. Now, when he's not there, I can see maybe a little bit more lax, but then he flew in the day before. It's September the 11th. The country had just had a revolution. They'd had several security incidents in August right before the ambassador gets there. They had a security incident that day. That's not the time to say, okay, well, we're going to shelter in place. We're going to run in our corners. It really looks like that's exactly what the plan was. You 2 guys go hide over there. You 2 guys go hide over there. Wait until this thing's all over. I'll watch it all from the video to make sure that when everybody gets all the maps and gets all the diplomatic pouches out, gets all the weapons locations out, gets all the drugs out, after everything's cleared out, then we'll, do our little G.I. Joe combat action film. And then that's what we saw. That's all we've seen. We haven't seen any of the action that actually, of those 35 minutes. We saw one picture of one guy stealing a suit jacket. It's almost like he said he stole one of the agent's jacket and stole his computer. It just doesn't wash. You just play the film. Start with the hole in the wall, blowing the hole in the wall, and watch him coming through. And let's look at it from 12 different camera angles.